Hey movie fans, welcome to Rob Zombie's adaptation of Halloween. So as always, if you've not visited my channel before, it does contain spoilers. So if you've not seen the movie, I recommend that you go watch the movie first. I do recommend that you go watch the movie first, and then come back and watch the review. But if you don't mind that, if you don't mind spoilers, then just stay tuned. Let's go ahead and get into this review. So as I said, we'll be reviewing Rob Zombie's adaptation of the 2007 Halloween. I actually am going to be reviewing the unrated version, so there is no rating on this one. It is directed and written by Rob Zombie, and this is actually going to be two parts because I'm going to be reviewing Halloween 1 and 2, so the 2007 and the 2009. So I will link the second one below, and then also on the second one I will link the first one. So if you see the second one first, then vice versa. So I may jump around a lot, not only because I'm reviewing the two movies, but because I have a lot to say. I have a lot of thoughts. I do have my notes as always, because when I watch these movies I just write a lot of things down. So we all know the Halloween, so I'm not going to go too much into the plot detail, but this Halloween they do change the plot a lot, other than the fact that Michael Myers does want to kill his sister. Basically that does stay the same. So to start off, I will say this. I really like how they go into Michael Myers' backstory. That one thing I can't resist on any movie, or on, that's the one thing that I love about movies. I love how there's a backstory, especially on, like Harry Potter. I love on Harry Potter how there's always, there's that backstory. So I did not like how they included a stepfather. I did not like that part. But I think maybe Rob Zombie did that to further draw into Michael Myers' madness. I think he did that for a purpose. I'm not sure what that purpose is. If you guys have any ideas on that, make sure you put that in the comments below. So I really don't know what that might have been. I think, in my opinion, that this movie is way too gruesome. I know it's basically like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre gruesome, but I think maybe it goes a little bit too far. So I know in the original Halloween they didn't have the funds to do those big killing scenes, and I wouldn't expect anything less from the legend Rob Zombie. But I feel that it was way too much. So now I'm going to go into Laurie, which is played by Scout Taylor-Compton. Her performance was on point. She was amazing and did an amazing job. I felt her terror. I wasn't scared. Well, not scared, I was nervous. I was nervous because I wasn't nervous because of Michael Myers. I was afraid because she made me believe that she was in actual danger, and that had me on the edge. So I will be right back, you guys. I'm going to change the battery on my camera because it's beeping at me, so I'll be right back. Okay, all set. So, anyways, where I left off. So what was I saying? So Scout's performance. I thought she did an amazing job. Her acting was amazing in this movie. I was looking on IMDb's website, and she really is not in a lot of movies. So I was that's usually what I do, is I go in and kind of investigate a little bit on actors, you know, like their trivia and a lot of things like that. So so I didn't really see too much about her. So so anyways, with that being said, let's move on. So moving on to Annie, Danielle, which is played by Danielle Harris. I was so shocked to hear that she was in this film. I would have loved it even better if she would have played Laurie. I thought that would have made the movie, just because she was in the original Halloweens. I thought it would have just made them, well, it would have been my day actually if she would have been in the if she would have played Laurie. I've watched Danielle Harris since she was little, so it was a little bit hard for me to see her topless in this movie. Even though she's in her late 20s in this movie, I mean, it was really hard for me to see her topless in this movie. But she did amazing. I mean, she just did amazing. That's all I can say. These two actresses, I mean, they're the lead roles. They just did amazing, and I mean, that's pretty much all I can say about them. They did amazing. So I want to add to what I said at the beginning about the origins of Michael Myers' demented mind. I feel they go way off track, the original story. I also find the story is less about Laurie and more about Michael, which I think Rob Zombie was trying to do, because I know that that when he asked permission to remake the movie, that's what the original director wanted him to do, that he told him to make it his own, but I think he made it way too much his own, which in my personal opinion I wouldn't have done. I would have tried to stick a little bit more to the original, because it really isn't my story to begin with. So I would have kept it a little bit more to my, you know, to give credit to the person who actually made the movie in the first place. So I did really like that they kept some of the key parts in the movie, like Linda, Annie, and Laurie being best friends. You know, those three. That Annie is the sheriff's daughter. You know, that Linda dies in the manner that she dies. And just little things like that they kept in the same way. I love how they kept Annie alive to the second part, just because I love Danielle. I love how they just kept her alive till the second part. Now moving on to Tommy and Lindsey. So Tommy is played by Skylar Gisondo. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, who plays Tommy originally. Tommy originally auditioned for 10-year-old Michael Myers, but the role went to, I'm not sure if I say this right, Doug Farich, who did an amazing job. Now, Jenny Gregg Stewart, who plays Lindsey, did a phenomenal job. I think she did probably right up there with Scout. She did awesome for her age. So eventually Michael kidnaps Lori, who goes I mean, that goes way off the original. I mean, way off the original. He tries to explain to her who he is to her in the old photo his mom gave to him the last time that she visited him in the mental institution. Michael and Lori well, it's a picture of Michael and Lori. So Michael's holding Lori when she was a baby. But due to his lack of vocals, she didn't understand. So I do feel bad for him in that moment. You know, it makes me feel bad. Like, all he wanted was to be reunited with his sister, Boo, who was the only one who he never, you know, who never judged him besides his mother that he had left. But because Lori only knows she's a Strode, she tries to save herself. And after a struggle, she supposedly kills Michael with a gunshot to the head at point blank range. So, I mean, it's a good movie, but it's not what I expected it to be. It didn't hold up to the original classic of Halloween. So I found the movie to be a little rough to watch in some parts, but overall it was okay. So with that being said, I was giving it 3 Michael Myers. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it right there, and we'll go ahead and I guess continue on to part 2. So just make sure you just look for the link down below, or I'll go ahead and just link it right here, and make sure you subscribe over here. Okay, so just make sure you watch out for that next video. Okay, guys.